Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special explosive sit down with. Guys, I am super excited. I cannot even tell how excited I am right now. You know what? I'm kind of like starstruck, okay? Because I just saw her with my two eyes. I talked to her. She's real, guys. And she is actually from Cameroon. Guys, I wanted to just make sure, you guys have been sending me inbox like the whole time, asking, is it really true? Like, is she Cameroonian? Yes, she is Cameroonian. She is a Bakosi girl from the Southwest region. Guys, Southwest in the building, Southwest in the building. Guys, she grew up in Yaoundé, and one of her favorite meals is Ero and Dole. Guys, are you ready for this edition? Are you ready? Black Panther is in the building, guys. Black Panther. Did you hear me all right? Yes, we are welcoming an amazing Cameroonian lady. She is a Hollywood actress. She is the A class, okay? She accepted to be our guest today on the program. She's going to be telling us all about it. Now, before we get to meet our guest on today's program, I just want to show you it's a very tiny video just to get those juices up, guys. Let's watch this little video, and when we come back, it's going to be time to discover our VIP guest on today's show, Constance Ejuma. Without wasting much time, guys, let's go watch this short video.
Yeah, home.
There you go, guys. Oh my gosh. I remember how everybody felt when the Black Panther movie was out. Wow, drum rolls, guys. I am sweating. Like, there's the AC right here, full blast, but I'm sweating because I'm about to, introduce to you a great lady, guys. She's going to be telling us every single thing. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. You've just pumped me up with your enthusiasm.
Girl, sis, I don't even know how to address you right now. Hey, sister, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
How you day? How you day?
Day. That's as much pigeon as I can manage today.
You did good, eh? So, guys, welcome to this exciting edition. It's another explosive sit down with, and we are with the gorgeous, multi-talented, multi-award winning actress, Constance Ejuma, who was one of the actresses in the movie Black Panther. You all know that this movie is one of those movies that gave us it gave us some guts. Like, we were just feeling like, yes, we are alive. We're coming, we're here. Like, yeah, she's going to be telling us all about that experience. So, for all of you who do not know, Constance Ejuma is an American actress. She is of Cameroonian descent, as we've been saying. She graduated from the University of Toronto with a BA in theater. Correct me if I'm wrong, anywhere. She was discovered, especially in our Cameroonian community, after her performance in the prestigious Black Panther movie that was in 2018. She has also done movies like Ben and Ara, for which she was actually the producer, and he received an African Movie Academy Award for that, for producing that movie. And she's also gone ahead to do some short movies and some digital series. She is the winner of the SAG Award for her work as a stunt performer in the Black Panther movie. Guys, welcome this gorgeous, amazing lady. Thank you for accepting to be our guest, Constance. How are you?
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
Oh my gosh. So go ahead and tell the people watching you, all of these amazing people who are watching right now, who you are. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Constance, as you know. I was born in Cameroon. I grew up in Cameroon until I was about 10 years old before moving to the United States. In fact, when I was in Cameroon, I lived in BMSC, and then we moved to Simeyong. And I think it's from Simeyong that ended up moving to the United States. So I spent a bit of time in those two neighborhoods. I went to the primary school in BMSC. I remember myself and my sister and my cousins walking to school back and forth every day.
Oh my
So I
God.
have really fond memories of that time and of being in that neighborhood. And so when I came to the United States, I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, lived in Silver Spring, Maryland for a really long time.
Girl, we have a lot in common.
Maryland is like Yaoundé #2. There's
You
so
know, that's
so
home.
many Cameroonians there. And I think a lot of Cameroonians are now finding themselves in Texas, which is also very interesting. So we're really all over the United States. But yeah, so I moved from Cameroon, moved to Maryland, grew up there, went to elementary school, junior high, high school in Maryland. And then when it was time to go to college, I decided to go to the University of Toronto. So I spent 4 years going to school in Canada, which was a really wonderful time for me because it was, first of all, an opportunity to leave home. Canada is a great country. I really loved being in Toronto. Made a lot of great friends and had a lot of wonderful experiences. And then from there, decided to go to graduate school in the UK. I went to the Leicester University.
Wow.
About a year in England for school before coming back to America. So, in that time of me getting my education, I also had the opportunity to go and live in other countries, which I think was very, very fortunate for me because it's a privilege to be able to do that. So I'm very grateful for that. So when I ended up coming back to the United States, I spent a couple of years in Maryland in the Washington, D.C. area, and I was doing things like community theater. So I did a couple of plays while I was there. And at some point I said to myself, I'm not getting any younger and I have this dream. To be an actress. So I got the courage and decided to move across the country to California by myself. I didn't know anybody here. Fortunately for me, we had family friends who lived here, people who knew people who knew people who lived here. And so I ended up connecting with a really great family, and I am part of their family now. So again, when you're African and you're part of a community, people open their doors for you and you open your doors for them. That's
definitely
part of African hospitality. And so when I moved to Los Angeles, I definitely benefited from that. So I've been here now for the past about 13 years. So I'm more or less an Angelino. That's what you call people who are from Los Angeles. Yeah, so I came here, struggled for a bit, was trying to find my land on my feet somewhere and figure out what I wanted to do, because you don't just arrive in LA and you walk on a movie set. It doesn't happen like that. And for most people, it does not happen like that. So I had a couple of years where I was really trying to find myself, get a job, earn some money, pay the rent, get a car, really get around. And once I found my place here, then I started to, look for an agent and take acting classes and start going on auditions. And one thing kind of led to another and opportunities started to come my way. But that's kind of my story in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So tell us about, how you got into, first of all, acting. Where did the passion come from? Was it a thing from your family background?
Well, I don't necessarily think so. I think the first memory I have of having an interest in acting, I was always more interested in stories. I mean, I was always into storytelling, and I was always reading stories or watching movies and things like that. So for me, I think it may have started watching Bollywood movies when I was a kid. I know, I went to summer holiday one year to some relatives who lived in Kumba, and every afternoon we would watch Bollywood films. And, if you know anything about Bollywood films, they're very long. And in those days, they didn't have any subtitles, so you had no idea what they were saying. But as a child watching this content, there was something in me that understood what was going on, even though I didn't understand the language. And I think that was the first inkling I had of the power of storytelling, of how universal it is, and that as human beings, we have the same hopes, the same dreams, the same emotions, and we can connect heart to heart. And so language isn't the only thing that connects us. And so, I think I was about 8 or 9 at the time that I was watching this stuff. It wasn't until I was 16 that it occurred to me that acting was a possible avenue for me to express my love of storytelling. I was 16. And at that time, when I came to that realization, I started looking into what I could do with this, information. And I happened to see an advertisement for an acting program for teenagers that was taking place in Washington, D.C. I had a part-time job, like an after-school job, when I was in high school. I saved up all my money. And that one summer, I decided to sign up for an acting class, and I paid for it myself. I'd take the bus to go there every day. Such an enriching experience for me. And that was my first taste of acting. Teenager, I was very reserved and very shy. So for me to even do that was a big deal. I was really, really pushing myself. But as I got older, finished high school, went to college, I decided to study theater. It was just a passion that grew over time. That's really when I started acting, when I was 16. But I think that desire for storytelling, I recognized that from watching Bollywood movies when I was still living in Cameroon.
Tell us how the big thing came about. Like, how did the Black Panther movie happen? Like, girl, how did that happen?
The Black Panther movie was interesting. So people always when you say Black Panther, everybody assumes, oh, she was one of the main people, that she's on the posters. That's not the case at all. I wasn't one of the main people. I did audition to play a speaking part. I did. In fact, when they announced that movie was going to be made, everybody in this town wanted to be a part of it. You can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you were in that movie. My God, girl, congratulations.
Yeah. So I went and I auditioned for it, but I didn't get the part. And I was very disappointed. I was heartbroken. In fact, I was heartbroken for a whole year. And they had already filmed the thing. They were already editing it. And I happened to get a message one day from somebody I'd never met before, who was like a casting associate. And she reached out to me on social media and she said, oh, we're casting for this film. That's, she didn't tell me the name, because at the time you weren't supposed to say the name of the film. That's just the thing that production does. They don't want to, if it's a really popular,
they don't want people to go crazy.
They don't want people to know. They don't want people to know. So they don't talk about the name publicly. So this person reached out to me and said, oh, we're casting for this movie. And, where do you live? Are you in LA or are you in Atlanta? I said I was in LA. And then the next day she came and asked me another question. Are you willing to shave your head? And I was like, yeah, my hair is short. I have no problem shaving it. And by the time she asked me that second question, I knew what the project was that she was talking about.
Girl.
Every day she was coming back asking me new questions. And I was just like, oh, this is interesting. I don't know what's going on here, but this feels pretty big. Long story short, by the very next week, I had booked a part to play a stunt performer, and I was on a plane to go to Atlanta. They had me in physical training for 2 weeks, and we basically did a reshoot of the big battle scene that you have in the middle of the film. So I play one of the female bodyguards, the Dora Milaje, and the part of the film that I worked on was in that big battle scene in the middle of the
Girl,
movie.
so it means that if you and I stand now, you feel just grind me. That means if you just scatter me in.
I could at that time. I don't know. Now all my muscles are weak. Everything is flagging. Maybe if I do training again, I'll be able to do it.
Oh my gosh. So was that real fighting or was it just done on a green screen with all, you know how, they just do things on a green screen and, tell us a little bit about it. Like how was the whole acting process?
Yeah, it's both. I guess for stunts is different because stunt performers are the people who, when you're watching an action film and then you're seeing people fighting, people are fighting and they're using swords and they're doing all these things. And you can see the actor's face. Yeah, exactly. So you see the actor's face and you think, oh, that actor is the one who did that. That's not true. They have other people who do all that stuff, and the way they film it, they cheat to make it look like it's that actor who's doing it. But in fact, it's somebody else who's doing it. They just find somebody who has a similar physicality to the actor. They'll put a wig on you. They'll do your makeup a certain way for you to look like that person whose face is on screen. You're doing all the hard work. That's what a stunt performer does. So if you see people jumping off things, if you see people sometimes driving cars on motorcycles, doing martial arts, 9 times out of 10, that is not them. It's somebody else doing that for
I wish I looked like somebody. I just wish I looked like a celebrity so that they could take me to play a double for someone. Oh my goodness.
So in this particular case, as a stunt performer, they needed people who could play those warriors, and they happened to cast me. So I had to shave my head. I had to do physical training. I had to wear the costume. So like it's me and it's me and my body. And what they did for me, because I didn't have any martial arts or dance training or anything, I had to do a boot camp. I did a boot camp for 2 weeks, and every day for 8 hours a day, we were training with the staff. So the staff that the women use, the stick.
Yeah.
Every day, 8 hours a day. So by the time evening came, we'd just be crawling back to our hotels because our bodies were just
killing you. Oh my gosh.
It was just exhausting. But at the end of that process, essentially what we learned was choreography of a fighting choreography. We learned how to do choreography with our weapon, which in this case was a staff. And what we did was, there were many hundreds of men and women, and every day we were training with each other, but we also plan out, I'll be fighting against this man, or I'll be fighting against that woman. And we have 4 or 5 different fight sequences that we do so that we don't all look like we're doing the same thing, so that we don't all look like we're dancing. So I'll do sequence number 1, and the people fighting next to me will do sequence number 2, and then the people over there will do sequence number 3. And with movie magic and editing, it looks like we're actually having a real battle. So yes, we did fight like it was a real fight.
Now really fool you. Tight.
Yeah.
Are you hearing these scoops, man? Like Lynn Pascal, tu entends ce qui se passe ici là? That is really for them fool we. We're at home. That's how we're sitting on the edge of our chairs. Like yes,
all of that you train to do it.
This is beautiful.
Choreographed.
Oh my god.
People are not just doing anything they want. It's very, very controlled. So I got to do that. We shot for 3 days, and worked with Ryan Coogler, who's the director, huge, cast and crew. And then you mentioned green screen earlier. Essentially, what we did was all of this was filmed on a big field. And then it was, as far as green screen goes, through editing, they make it look like we were in some grand place with like all these.
I was gonna ask that where did you guys shoot? Like, which country did you guys shoot in?
Well, that particular scene was in Atlanta, in Georgia. We shot that in Atlanta.
Not in Africa, somewhere in South Africa. Like we thought, like we're seeing all those, the rocks, and we're like, oh my gosh.
Well, some of those places are real. Black Panther was a huge movie, so there were many, many locations for it. I know part of it was shot in a few countries in Africa. The scene in South Korea was shot in South Korea. And a lot of it was also shot here in the United States, especially the scenes where the green screen was happening. A lot of it was done in Atlanta. So yes, it was shot all over the world, but when I was shooting, I went to Atlanta to do that. Yeah.
Girl, there's so many people who are sending you questions. Like they say, Constance, I like the way you talk. You're an amazing person. We like to take some of these questions or, reactions from the public. Somebody say, I did see Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee because I was doing this.
Now, Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee are the real deal.
They're the real deal, yeah.
They are really doing what they're doing. Yeah.
Lynn Pascal, she's giving you hearts. Gerard Mukiawa, hey guys, let's know where you're watching from, and please share the video. Send in your questions for Constance. What do you want to know about her role in the Black Panther movie? What do you want to know about her as a movie producer and actress? What do you want to know about acting in general? Let us know. And don't forget to give Daily TV stars, okay? That is how this channel grows. Hey, if you're not following Constance Ejuma, go out there on a social media, follow her, and just get connected. This is our sister, guys. She can speak pidgin, she can speak pidgin a little bit. So maybe before the end of the program, she's going to tell us something in pidgin, just to let you guys know that yes, she understands you people. And she's a Bakosi girl. So hopefully by the end of the day, by the end of the program, she will say something in Bakosi, because I want to believe that they speak Bakosi language at home, right, Constance?
You're putting me on the spot. It's all of those. No,
you don't speak Bakosi language at home.
No, I don't. I will say though that I understand. So be careful when you're talking around me, because I can pick up what you're saying. So if you're saying
something, say something in Bakosi so that the people from Bakosi can just say, yes, this is our sister. Let them just feel proud.
For this, I don't want to embarrass myself.
just something. It's gonna mean a lot to them.
Oh my gosh.
Anything. Just think about anything. Good morning. How are you? My name is.
I think. I guess good morning is Asada. Yeah, that's
Asaga.
Asada.
Asaga. Asaga to all the people of Bakosi. Your sister is here. Did you guys know that your sister was the one that played in Black Panther movie, guys? This is big for Cameroon, man. This is so big. So, girl, tell us, how was that whole experience for you, and what did it change about you as a person, as an actor?
The experience was tremendous for me. Not because Black Panther ended up being one of the biggest movies, of all time. That really wasn't my intention in getting involved in the project. The reason why I wanted to get involved with the project is because I wanted to work with Ryan Coogler. I'm a fan of his. I admire his work very much. I love what he stands for. And so my desire was really to get involved in anything that he was working in, because I love what he has to say as a storyteller. Everything else with the popularity of the film, that's all extra to me. It's all gravy to me. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a comic book fan. So I didn't go in thinking, I read Black Panther as a kid and this is like an amazing full circle moment. It wasn't that for me at all. I was more interested in connecting with this storyteller that I admired very much. So when I got the opportunity to do it, I felt a lot of gratitude, and I just felt like I want to support this man, and I got to do exactly that. That was my dream, and I feel like I accomplished that. When I saw the movie, though, I was blown away because I think a lot of the themes spoke to me, and it was just in line with who I am and the kinds of stories I want to tell, and how I want to make people feel when they see my work. So it was really exciting to somehow have been connected to this project, which just ended up causing such a shift and warming the hearts of so many people all over the world. So yeah, I was just excited to work with him.
Girl, did it change your perception about, who you are as an actress of color?
It didn't change my perception. What it did, though, was inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing and to keep fighting for my right to occupy space as a storyteller of color, a storyteller of African descent, a storyteller who's dark-skinned, a storyteller who has short natural hair, so all of these things. None of that was new for me, but what it did for me was motivate me to be more true to myself than ever before. That was really the biggest takeaway for me. It was more of a confirmation than a revelation of anything new.
Right. Wow, girl, I am just really thrilled about the whole thing. I remember when the Black Panther movie was just going to be out, everybody all over the world was like, there was something it was like a wave, a movement. Everybody, people of color, felt like, oh my gosh, look at who we are. It was like an eye opener, even though we knew that we are strong people, we are a strong community and all whatnot. He kind of gave us a certain power, and everybody was going out and they had Wakanda forever, Wakanda forever, Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
So tell me, has it ever occurred to you to be recognized, when you walk around, do people recognize you from the Black Panther movie? Tell me,
No, people don't recognize me because you didn't see my face.
Right.
I was in the background, I was supporting, I was adding to the energy of the film, but you don't, I'm not a recognizable face in that way. So that is not my reality. It would be nice.
We see you on that poster with that sword, and that's all we need right now. Hey, I was in that movie,
Yeah.
You made us feel like, yes, we got a reality. Tell me, Constance, I know that you're mostly in Hollywood and stuff like that. Have you ever had the opportunity of working with other people, maybe let me say other actors from other African countries, and particularly Cameroon?
Absolutely.
Particularly Cameroon.
Yeah.
Have you worked with?
Yes. First of all, there's plenty of African actors here.
Right.
And because it's such a small circle, we all tend to know each other. If we don't know each other, we're friends or we're acquaintances, or we run into each other at auditions, because when there's a casting, well, all of the Africans are going to show up if they're asking for Africans. So we all, know
each other,
know ourselves. As far as Cameroonian actors, sure. I'm good friends with an actor called Tony Tambi. He actually created a web series that I participated in called Consequences. You can find it on YouTube.
Okay.
We did season 1 a couple of years ago. Season 2 is coming out soon. You'll be seeing promotions for it on my social media when it gets closer to the time, but he's a phenomenal Cameroonian actor. He's a writer now, he's a producer, he's a creator, and he got into a space where it's like, well, we're actors and we're storytellers. Let's start telling our own stories. Let's start telling stories that are interesting to us or that are reflective of our reality. So I admire him for really taking the initiative and taking matters into his own hands, taking ownership of his career as an actor and as a storyteller. So that's one Cameroonian actor I know. Another is another very good friend of mine. His name is Jude Anchang. He went to, he attended Juilliard, which is one of the top acting institutions in, amazing, incredibly talented actor, writer, director. In fact, Jude and I collaborated last year on a play that I wrote about the Anglophone crisis, and he.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And we did, we did a performance of it at a theater festival here in LA. So just off the top of my head, those are the two Cameroonian actors that I'm very close with here in the US. I'm also friends with, some filmmakers in Cameroon. One in particular I'll name drop is Nkanya Kwai.
Okay, yes, now you're talking, sis.
He's a very good friend of mine, and believe it or not, he and I met through social media. We met on Facebook.
Wow.
And what happened is many years ago, he was here in the United States and he was raising money for a film. And I saw a promotion for, I believe it was a Kickstarter campaign that he was doing to raise money for this film that he was producing. Mm-hmm. And so I saw it, and I'm the type of person, if I see something and Cameroon is next to it, you have my attention. If you say Cameroon, you have my attention. So
bless your heart, sis. Thank you.
I was like, wait, who? This guy's from Cameroon. What is he saying?
Did you say Cameroon? That's my people.
What's going on? Tell me more. So I clicked on the link. I saw the promo. I reached out to him. I introduced myself, and we just started having a relationship that way. A few years later, when I was producing my film Ben and Ara, we shot it, all of it here in the US, but there was one particular scene that was written in the script that called for a scene in Africa, in Cameroon specifically. Oh, wow. So I called him and I said, hey, Kenya, you are a producer, you're a director. I have a favor to ask. There's this one particular scene that we need to shoot, of a grandmother somewhere in Cameroon. Do you think you can get a crew together, do a one-day shoot, get a few people together, some women together to shoot this? And he did.
Wow.
And it ended up being one of the best scenes in the entire movie. So I absolutely am connected with my African brothers and sisters who are creators, who are artists. And I'm always, keen to support them in any way that I can.
I'm really happy to see that, you're keeping ties with, your African, especially Cameroonian filmmakers and all that. What do you have to say, like, from this side? Because you're in the US and mostly in Hollywood, you've seen all the big movies. Like, have you had a chance to look at some of the work that your brothers and sisters are doing back home in Cameroon? What do you want to say? Like, how do you appreciate it, like, just by looking at it from a professional eye?
Well, I have to say that I really admire the determination, especially the Anglophone filmmakers, those in the Northwest and the Southwest. I think it's really incredible to have to deal with the lack of resources, finances, all of that stuff. Making films is really difficult. It's really, really difficult. And sometimes one of the most difficult things is raising money to actually get a film made. Sometimes it's next to impossible. So when I see folks like Kenya and his peers doing the work that they're doing, for him especially, he's just somebody who is so eager to learn. He's always reading things. He's like, please send me the script. I want to understand script structure so that I can apply what I'm doing. Can you get this book? Or, this movie that you did, can you send me the script for that? Because I want to see how
you write, how everything is structured.
Yeah. And then, he has done a couple of initiatives with some peers of him there, where they train other people, or they have workshops where they're teaching people how to be young people, how to script, how to act and things like that. It's wonderful. So I can't, the only thing I can really say is keep at it. Keep, being curious, keep up with your determination to constantly do better, to improve yourself, and to top even more, and just keep going higher and higher and higher, because that's the only way that you'll reach the top.
Wow. Oh, so we have a question here from Leith Kevin. She's asking, is she going to do Black Panther 2? Is there going to be a Black Panther 2? Is it true?
There's going to be a Black Panther 2. Am I going to do Black Panther 2? I don't know. I think it's scheduled for 2022. I think that's right. That they want to release it, which means that if that's the case, they probably, now with COVID, I think everything is going to be pushed back.
COVID, go away.
2
Go
years.
away, COVID.
So I guess maybe the earliest Black Panther 2 would be coming out is 2023, 24 maybe? I don't know.
Right. Like maybe do we need to start an online campaign? We should start an online campaign so they get you into that movie. Like we need Cameroonians to come together, guys. We need Constance and Ejuma, guys. Let's start a campaign for her. Like, come on, guys, we need our person in there.
I would love
That
that.
would be so cool, right? Our family Asang is asking. She wants to know the title of the movie that you did for the Anglophone crisis. First of all, before you, yeah, tell us about the title and then why did you decide to do a movie on
So maybe there's two things. The movie that I produced and starred in is called Ben and Ara. That's the name of the movie I did a few years ago. I even came to a film festival in Cameroon to promote that, I think about 5 years ago now. It's been a while. So that's the movie. The play that I did, which is something different, which was about the Anglophone crisis, was called Ghost Town. And
Ghost Town.
Ghost Town. And it was a one-woman show. It was a solo performance, which means that it was only me acting on stage, and I played 9 different characters. And the whole concept was, I was interested, 1, in understanding what was happening, 2, why it was happening, what was the genesis of it all, and 3, what are the different perspectives, who are the key players, and what are the key philosophies that are in conflict, and who are the people who are being impacted by this whole situation. So that's where all the characters came from. Now, I don't, you know, I'm not out here to say that I know what the solution is, or that I've seen all angles, or that I know everything. Like, I know nothing. And the thing that inspired me to even attempt to do a play about it was knowing that I know nothing. And the intention was to learn something. And I think I did learn something about what's going on. And it was also my intention to make people here aware that there is a country called Cameroon, and there's something happening there that maybe the world needs to know about. That was it.
Yeah, wow, that is really amazing. We have a question, wow, from Leith Keevan. Oh, there you see, Linda Pretty says, "Oh God, data has failed me." I'm sure she's watching from Cameroon, and her data is failing her, so she said she's gonna continue watching tomorrow. I wish we could send you data, girl. And then Henrietta Atanga, who is like one of the faithful contributors to this program, she says that she's asking a question as well.
What advice for youth who want to get into the movie industry? Is that it?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so my advice, and you may or may not like this, is education. Education is really important. More specifically, though, is if you want to get into acting or filmmaking specifically, I would say cultivate an interest in stories. Cultivate an interest in storytelling. And the way I did that was by reading. I read everything. I read novels. I read plays. I was one of those kids who you would find me in the corner somewhere with a book in my hands. And the book was usually like as thick as a Bible. And I was doing this when I was a teenager, even in my preteens. In order for you to be an effective storyteller, you have to learn stories. You have to love stories. You have to understand stories, and you have to understand stories, story structure. And the fact of the matter is, everybody is a storyteller. It doesn't matter what your vocation is. If you come home and somebody asks you, "What did you do at work today?" and you start telling them at work,
a story. That's true.
You're telling a story. You tell a story. You're a chef and you're cooking. that's creative. Like you're telling a story through food. And I think people have this misconception that artists are these strange alien creatures who have special powers. That's not true. Every single human being is creative.
Yeah.
Everybody is creative, and everybody has the ability to tell stories. But to do it as a storyteller, you have to do it consciously. And that means understanding what story is, how it is told, and really understanding how it makes you feel. Because that way you get to understand what your identity is as a storyteller. Just being conscious and aware of like the things that you get excited about, the types of stories you get excited about. So yeah, definitely education, and absorb as many stories as you can get. Just read as much.
Right. Okay. So Leith Keevan, she says, how can we support her and African actors like her? She really raises the standards and makes us proud.
Thank you so much. Thank you. How can you support me? You can follow me on social media.
Definitely, guys.
I'm on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is @Sejuma. That's CEJUMA. It's the same on Twitter. On Facebook, you can just find me, Constance Ejuma. And then also, you know, whenever I have something out, it would be great if people could watch and support in that way, and help promote the things that I do. So I currently don't have anything right now, but, you know, like I mentioned earlier, the web series Consequences is currently on YouTube. So you can definitely check that out, because it's not just me, it's other African actors and creative people who got together and decided to do a show for themselves. So I think a lot of the Africans and Cameroonians who are tuned in now would really enjoy Consequences web series. You know, so if you find me on social media, you can get a link to it. It's on YouTube. It's all there. You can also watch Ben and Ara, depending on where you are. It's on Amazon and a few other places. But, you know, I think many people in Cameroon have seen it just from film festivals and other means. So thank you for that question, and thank you for your willingness to show me even more support.
Yes, we want to start something and start rooting for you. Like, hey, guys, please stay Constance for part 2. Yeah. We need her on there for the culture, for our country and stuff like that. Okay. So Tengu Fon, who is also a very regular participant on the show, he says, great show, Constance. Any plans for Project Home to boost our growing industry?
Yeah, well, I've been in discussion with a couple of productions. So there's, I think, two potential projects that I've been kind of talking to people about doing in Cameroon. And for those of people not in the industry, sometimes it takes a really long time to get a movie made. And production can take a really long time. So, and sometimes that has to do with the fact that the producer needs to raise money, or they need to have access to certain types of location, or get access to certain types of talent. There's a number of different things, but the short answer to that question is yes, there are a couple of projects that I am looking at doing in Cameroon at some point in the future.
All right. So just a few days back, the Cameroon Ministry of Art and Culture came up with a communique, a bill. They passed a bill with so many laws, you know, which the actors, entertainers, and stakeholders under the Ministry of Arts and Culture thought that it was too drastic. Like it's too much for them. They have to be registered under associations. They have to pay dues to the government and stuff like that. I don't know. Have you heard about that at all?
I have not heard about that. This is the first time hearing of it, but I will say that it's the system here in the United States is that it's fairly similar here, because we have an actors guild, and the purpose of the guild is actually to protect the actors, to protect their interests, to protect their, you know, to make sure that they are safe on set, to make sure that they are not being abused or taken advantage of. So as far as organizations like guilds go, on this side of the ocean, institutions have been in place for a really long time, and it's been a really effective way of ensuring that the actors actually get their due. I think, having been involved in different types of productions at varying scales, the actor is the person whose face you see on screen.
Right.
And most of the time, they are the ones who get the least money. Sometimes actors don't get any money at all. So it's very easy to assume that because you're seeing somebody's face on a screen, that they're the one making the most money. I'm not saying that sometimes that isn't true, because I mean, we have big Hollywood actors here where the budget of the film, most of it goes to that actor. But what I am saying is that for a majority of the time, actors get a pretty raw deal. So from my perspective here, the actors' unions and guilds and things like that are actually meant to support the talent. They're meant to make sure that the talent isn't being mistreated or being abused. I don't know how that plays out in Cameroon, but you can tell me, because I have no information on that. What is the reaction to it, and why are people reacting?
People are reacting. They are like, that's a death sentence, because it's already a very struggling industry. The ministry is not doing anything for them, and now they're imposing stuff that they have to do. They have to pay dues and stuff like that, and report every activity, every collaboration and stuff. Like, people are not taking it well because they feel that it's already a struggling industry.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel bad, because when I saw that bill, I was like, it's actually going in the good direction, but is it the right thing to do for
Right.
an industry that's not really, they don't have a good foundation? Like, they can't really say that if something is going on with an actor and actress, like you just said it here, they are protected and make sure that they're fine and all whatnot. But back home there, like, I mean, we've seen actors, actresses, artists get sick and die and don't have nothing or nobody to even support them and stuff like that. So, and then adding on to this now, it almost seems like, wow, they're just breaking their feet, So
yeah, and I can understand that, because if you are part of a system and you are expected to pay dues, you would expect your dues to benefit you in a certain way. So when an actor here pays dues, we are paying dues to cover our health insurance, to cover, emergencies. So if we happen to be out of work for some reason, we can tap into some of these funds that these organizations like guilds provide if there's an emergency. So some way, somehow, these dues are benefiting us at the end of the day. If it seems as though you're giving away money and you're not getting anything in return, then I can understand why it just seems like a terrible idea or a terrible deal. But I think also when new systems are introduced, it's always difficult, and it's always until people really establish a good foundation and trust. I think there's a lot of distrust going on, and rightly so. But I think in order for anything to work, people need to participate, and people need to feel like they're being heard and that their interests are being taken care of. So it may take a long time for that to happen in Cameroon, but I think, there should be dialogue. And if there's things happening that are not right, people need to speak up, because that's
definitely. But you know what? Sometimes the environment is not the right environment. When you speak up, you get in trouble. So a lot of times people don't want to get in trouble, and they just like, tell me, Constance, like for as long as you've been acting professionally, like what has been your most challenging experience? Like, have you ever experienced like something either on set or just as an actor that made you almost give up, like, but you still held on to what you're doing?
It's not even anything that's happened to me on set that's compelled me to want to give up. In fact, it's not being on set that can sometimes be disheartening, because as an actor, 9 times out of 10, you are looking for work. You are looking for opportunities to audition. You are looking for opportunities to book a job, to get on set. So when you are on set, you feel like, yes, I've accomplished something. All of my hard work is paying off because this person has recognized my talent enough to give me a chance to be in this movie or in this TV show or in this commercial or in this play or whatever the case may be. So the thing that kind of makes me feel bad sometimes is when I struggle to get work. And this is not anything that's unique for any actor. I think for a lot of artists, it can be this way too, where you're constantly seeking employment and there aren't any projects around, or nobody's giving you any job, and you start feeling insecure, or you just get really down on yourself. So the remedy to that particular issue for me has been to figure out, what stories do I want to tell? Who do I want to be as an artist? What do I want to represent? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? And also identifying people that I can collaborate with. Is there anybody around me whose talent enhance my own? I'm an actress. I have friends who are writers. I have friends who, are composers. There's friends who are cinematographers and things like that. Like, can we get together and pool our talent to create something that we can all be proud of? And that's what Consequences web series was for me, because Tony Tambi, as I mentioned earlier, is a Cameroonian actor who has been here as long as I have.
Wow.
He said, look, I'm not getting any gigs. Like, you guys sit there thinking, oh,
it's crazy.
So famous.
Yeah.
People recognize you. Nobody knows who I am. Nobody recognizes me.
But people forget, like, after the movie is done, people they're just going about. I think maybe it's because you're in LA and there's so many celebrities out there, and they just see a lot of celebrities. Like, if you come around us, we'll be like, oh.
It's very, very different here. So, I mean, in terms of like, how do I overcome, or what is it about this business that makes me want to lose hope sometimes? It is not having the chance to work. And how do I deal with that? Well, now I'm at a point where I say to myself, well, let's find people that are in the same place as me. Let's do something. You can shoot a movie on a phone. You can do that now. You couldn't do that maybe 10 years ago, right? So everybody has the means to kind of take matters into their own hands and create the content that they want to create. And I've been fortunate to be surrounded by really, really talented people that I've had the opportunity to collaborate with. Ben and Ara was that. My very good friend, Joe, wrote the script, and he invited me to be a part of that project with him. And I ended up being the co-star and one of the producers. Same thing with Consequences. I was invited to participate as an actor. I came on as a producer as well, and we created a really wonderful web series. And I'm always looking out for more and more opportunities like that, because let's face it, if you're sitting around waiting for, Steven Spielberg to call you, it's not going to happen unless you do something to
that intrigues him, and then he's like, whoa, who is this person?
So the way by which people are getting themselves out there has really transformed because of technology. We have social media, we have these smartphones, all these great things that just make things much more accessible to us. So yeah, I hope that answered your question in a very roundabout way.
Oh yes, most definitely. So tell me, does this business bring the money? Because everybody is all about, oh my gosh, I need to move to LA right now. Like, what? Did you just see this person in this movie? Like, this is surely where everything is happening. Like, is this something that is lucrative?
Is it something that's lucrative? Acting? Yes. Let me tell you something. Do you ever watch the Oscars? You know what the Oscars are?
Yes.
Or the Golden Globe.
It's everybody's dream. It's beautiful.
Now, when you're watching the Oscars, these people are in this room, right? The people in that room represent 2% of the actors in Hollywood.
Wow.
2%, that's it.
Wow.
So you're not even seeing all the people who are in this industry. If you are judging this business based on what the audience you're seeing,
it just looks glamorous. It's like, whoa, you can just go in there today and you're bam, like.
So the odds are very tough. Very tough odds.
You have to work hard.
You also have to be smart. You have to be resourceful. You have to learn how to take things into your own hands and not wait around for they come and give you a job. It's a lot of hard work, and it requires a lot of stamina, and it requires a lot of determination. And if you don't have the stamina, you'll quit, because why would you continue to do something that you feel like is not giving you anything in return?
Right.
You know, it's not for everybody, and you just have to be real about that. I can't sit here and tell you, oh, everybody should be an actor. No. If you're happy doing something else, by all means do it. This is not.
So tell me, Constance, like being an actor and everything that you've been telling us, it seems like you're like pretty busy. Like, do you have time to do other things like have a relationship, you know? Because people have been asking me, is she married? And I'm like, guys, stop asking me that question. Come and ask her on the show.
It's a matter of balance, right? So it's not because I'm an actress that
you have time for other things. Like,
of course, you make time. If you're interested in something, you make time for it. You carve time for it. Of course you do.
Are you available? Are you available? Because guys will be asking questions. They're like, inbox. We have like guys. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Like,
well, if they're interested, they can find their own ways of finding out. Let me just put it that way. So I'm not.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, guys. So she hasn't answered the question. No, don't call me after and ask me questions, please. Come and ask her right here. I'm asking her for you. I have people who send me messages since yesterday, like, he married Massa. He available Massa. I've invited, like, yeah, that's Teddy Ranui says that when you come to Colorado, you should let him know. That's Teddy Ranui. He says that he is in Colorado. And whenever you come over there, you should let him know. He has some good sites in Colorado. I don't know if these are chatting skills that he's exercising here.
I feel like this is a dating service all of a sudden.
So people want to know if they can, you know, connect with you, otherwise, like invite you and, you know, just get to know you a little bit better. Like, are you available? Are you relatable with people? You know, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it depends on what the situation is, but people reach out to me on social media all the time if I have time to answer any questions I do. But yeah, I think the thing about the world today is that everything is so accessible. Before, you weren't able to go on Instagram and like inbox a person or slide into the DMs. Now you can. So there's no other way to get access to me, or no easier way to get access to me than right here on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Reach out to me. It's me. I handle those accounts. I see all those posts. And that's that.
I'm excited. I love this kind of talk. You know, I'm feeling like my juices are like, yes, guys, yes. So we can bring her back home, you know, we can bring her back home and give her some Sansel and, you know, some Mondola and teach her that Bakosi language. Yeah, she will come back home, guys. So in fact, yes, you can talk to her, go to her DM, send her some messages, nice messages, and no disrespect, because we'll fire you people.
Yeah, I don't want those, you know, funny messages, you know, like
no funny messages, guys. No funny messages.
Just
yeah. So tell me, Constance, like, what do you do for fun?
I love to travel. I love traveling. I love going
I love traveling, girl.
Yeah, I go to new places, different countries, experiencing different cultures. Love food, so I love trying different cuisine. In fact, whenever I do come to Cameroon, my priority is always food. It's like I'll see my family; they're there, but let me just have a menu, and I'll tell you what I want every day, because I need to eat all these foods, because I don't get to eat them all the time when I'm here. So I'm a bit of a foodie, and I enjoy food, and I love Cameroonian food.
All right. So you told me about you said you like Ero and Dole. Which of these two can you cook very well?
I don't know about cooking them very well, but I can cook both of them in a way that makes me happy. But I don't know if I'm confident enough to share my cooking with people. Though I have cooked ndole for some friends here, and they love it. I don't know if that means I'm a good cook, but I will say those two dishes are my favorite. I also love ekwang. I had one of my best friends in Maryland I would run to her house every day when her mom cooked it. And so I love it so much, in fact, that one year I had her cook ekwang, freeze it, and FedExed it to me. I got it 2 days ago, warmed it up, ate it. It was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, girl. You know what? I should definitely connect to Anim. So Anim, if you're watching this program, she's a Cameroonian, very hardworking lady. She has her own cuisine and stuff like that. And I just saw on her page the other day that she actually does the Epang rolls and ships it out to people. So yeah, we might definitely need to put you two in contact so she can send you the already wrapped up one. And then maybe can you cook it if it's already wrapped up then?
Yes, I'll figure it out.
All right, so we have a guest on the show. She wouldn't let me just continue in peace. So if I didn't pick her up, she was gonna just be like screaming. I hope you don't mind. All right. So you said the things that you like to do for fun. You love cuisine. You love to travel. Girl, I love to travel.
Yeah.
I love to travel. Me too. I love cooking.
I love reading novels. I love watching movies. I love dancing. I love music. Yeah. So I mean, I these are the things that I do.
So you were going to do 5 things that the public doesn't know about you that they can find on the internet.
This entire interview has been things that people don't know about me. So I think I can get away with like maybe 3.
Okay, 3. Let's try 3. Just do some like really fun stuff. Just or say something, or do something. You can either do something or just show us something that makes you, just you. That only someone who knows you would know that you do those things.
That I do those things. Wow. That's a tough one now, because I thought things that they not know about me, not what I do.
Yeah, even things that they don't know about you. It can be anything.
Okay, so many years ago, I guess because I grew up in America, people assume that I've never been back to Cameroon. But I when I was growing up, I would go back to Cameroon every other year. So I still am very much connected to the country still. But one year I went back. I actually went to Bangam, which is which is in the Southwest Province. As you mentioned earlier, I'm Bakosi. So we have these this myth, I guess, of where the Bakosi people come from, and the geography is that in Bangam there's 2 lakes and the Kupe Maninguba Mountains, and this is the cradle of the Bakosi tribe, Bakosi culture. And so I had an opportunity to go there one year, and I actually went to the lake. There's 2 lakes. I went to the female lake. I washed I washed my face, and I drank the water. And when I had that experience, I didn't think anything of it. And then I came back, and a few years later, I think back on it, and I say to myself, my goodness, not many people have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, girl.
Experience.
Oh my God.
I went to the lake with my cousin, and he did a blessing where he was basically speaking to the ancestors, because it's believed that our ancestors live in
They hear us.
Yeah, they hear us. Also in the lake, that their spirit is in the lake. And so he came and he's asked for permission, said, America is here. Please, protect us. We made an offering, and it was that's
beautiful.
An experience I don't think I will ever forget. And then I guess another thing could be when I first moved to the United States, I was 10 or 11, and a few months after we arrived, my sister and I had malaria.
Oh,
malaria. And we were quarantined in a hospital. The hospital staff gave us a nickname. They called us the malaria kids. So
oh my God.
We became famous in the hospital for having malaria because they were not familiar with this in America. So, yeah,
Oh my gosh. That's true. If you can't remember another one, that's fine. So Constance was almost drawing the curtains on today's program. Oh my God. It's right. Oh my gosh. Abby wants to definitely be part of this interview, but I always do make sure that she's taking a nap when I have a live broadcast. But today the time was a little bit different. So she's up and she's like, Mom, I'm gonna be part of that interview. So Constance, we're drawing the curtains on today's program. What would you want to say to your fans, to your people, to your community, to all those followers of yours who've been supporting you and everything?
Well, I guess the only thing I can say is thank you. Thank you for your interest in me. Thank you for your support of me. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just really grateful by the interest. Sometimes it's surprising because you think you are doing something for yourself or to fulfill yourself, and sometimes you don't realize that other people are looking at you and that they are drawing inspiration and hope from what you're doing. So I'm very grateful, and I hope I'm representing you all. And the other thing I want to say is, if you have a dream or an ambition of any kind, don't give up.
Yeah.
The world will do whatever it needs to do to try and discourage you and deter you. But if it's something you feel very strongly about, then do whatever you need to do to motivate yourself and to push ahead, and don't give up. Don't give up.
Wow. Thank you so much. I think we're going to take this one last question on the screen from Teddy Ranu, who was inviting you to Colorado, by the way. He says, could you please thrill us with some one-man show? Something. Maybe something from one of your movies, a scene, just something like,
You want to perform, go to my website. I have a link there that you can watch, www.constanceejuma.com. I'm not one of those artists or performers who just does things on the fly. I'm not that fabulous. So I'm also a little shy. So I can't do things at the drop of a hat.
I know you told me you sing. You said you sing, you love music. So can you do a little a cappella of one of your favorite songs? Maybe Cameroonian.
I never said that. You're trying to trick me. I never said that.
No, because you said you like music. So I was like, oh, she definitely sings under the shower, So maybe one of those songs that you sing when you're taking a shower in the morning, like, God, I'm so blessed. And just do something for us before you go. I just want your people to be like, yes,
I can't. I'm drawing a blank. I really am. I'm sorry. I've given you so much already. So
you have. You've been amazing, Constance. Yeah. You've been wonderful, and I just can't thank you enough for accepting to be our guest. Oh my gosh. Constance, you're just a lovable person, and I hope that we can stay in contact after this. You need to come more into the community.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, just bring her over here. Today is a difficult day, but wow, quarantine has made it in such a way that when you work from home, everything is at home. There's no daycare. There's nothing you have to figure it out to work, do your shows, and still. Okay, that's fine. You guys can just stay there. Thank you. All right, Constance. Hey, I just want to say thank you, girl, for making out this time. I know we've eaten up some of your time today. We hope that you're not going to miss a big gig because of this. But thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you all.
All right. So we're just going to wish you well, and we hope to see more great projects coming from you. We know that there's so much in store, and just let us know, and we will push the word out to everybody in this community and let them know that, hey, our sister is here. Let's go support. That's what we do, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna wish you all the best, and just keep being fabulous and just keep being amazing,
Thank
just like
you.
you are.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Hey, we've come to the end of this beautiful program. Thank you all for staying on until the end. I still see so many of you watching. Thank you for not going, for not giving up on us, for being there, for sending in the questions, for participating. It was just an amazing program, and we could not do it without you. Hey, you already heard Constance Ejuma is her name. Go out and follow her on social media, connect with her. All those guys that were asking if you can invite her for dinner or lunch, you go ask her in her DM. But remember to be nice, okay? Just be nice. She might just reciprocate. You never can tell. Teddy Ranyi, I don't know if you're married or not, or you've been inviting her to Colorado. So maybe you want to go into a DM and talk to her. Just be nice, and let's see how things work out. Yeah, we want to take her back home to eat some kati and fufu. That would still be a good thing, right? Okay, that was all we had for you today on this explosive sit down with Constance Ejuma, who is one of the actresses that we had in the very celebrated movie Black Panther. We hope that you enjoyed this time with us. Don't forget to keep following Delhi TV on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and especially go subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you don't subscribe, we can grow. Okay. All right. Tomorrow I'm going to be on Gwendy Media, and I'll be interviewing an amazing Afrima Award winning artist. Her name is Naomi Achu. So if you want to see me on there, you can join me on my page on Gwendy Media for that amazing interview. It's going to be tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern USA time. All right. Remember, you can always be the change you seek. Keep being fabulous. Keep being beautiful. Keep believing in yourself. Okay. God bless you. Bye bye.